Hello, my name is David. Welcome to this channel, which is all about helping you develop your musical personality on the instrument so that you can tell better musical story. The 5 licks that we're going to cover today are in the key of G Lydian. The backing track that we're going to use and the tabs for the licks can be downloaded for free. The link is below. Check it out. Sign up once. You'll get access to the downloads for this video in a super clear and easy and pretty awesome interface. It's a great way to study. It's free, and you also get access to all the other downloads on the channel. So check it out, but for now, here's lick number 1. Nothing super complex with this lick. The most important thing, though, is to have the position under your finger on your left hand. Your left hand shouldn't wonder which fret to hit, because that takes a little bit of mental concentration that should really be applied to the rhythm phrasing, rhythm accuracy, and all the other things that are important in this. As far as the rhythm goes, we are playing in 16th notes. So if this is our backing track, 4 notes per beat. If that's too fast, you can slow it down. It won't sound as good. It'll be actually a little bit more difficult, but you can definitely practice that way. So 2 notes per beat. It's actually a really good exercise, especially if I'm talking at the same time. It's a little bit harder because you have more time between each note, which means that, well, within silence, you can kind of get lost. So it's important to really focus, especially at slower tempos, to be super accurate. Make sure that, well, just like any legato lick, only the notes you want to hit are being hit, heard, fretted. You don't want any unnecessary noises. And that's where the muting technique is important. If you don't know about that muting technique for legato playing, I'll link to another video at the end of this one. But that's our lick. Here it is one more time. And I'll meet you in the next one. Okay, lick number 2 is a little faster. We're using 16th triplet notes, which is 6 notes per beat. If that's too fast again, you can slow it down to maybe 3 notes per beat or even 4, which will kind of break the sequence a little bit. It might sound kind of cool. It does sound kind of cool. Again, very important to know the pattern here. The main difficulty here is the switch of strings. And that is because when we switch strings, for example, between the first string right here on the second string, I'm not plucking that string with my pick. I could, but it would sound a little harsher. It would sound something like this. See how harsher it is? And harsh is not what you want to have when especially when you're playing the style of Satriani. You want something very smooth. So instead of plucking that string each time, my finger is acting as a hammer from nowhere, almost like a hammer-on. Right here, I'm basically hammering on from no other frets. So that might require a little bit of concentration, especially for the placement of that pinky, which is, in this case, hammering on the second string 10th fret, because as I'm putting pressure on that second string, the flesh, this part of my pinky, is slightly touching the first string. It's not fretting it, it's touching it slightly to stop it in its track so it doesn't ring out. So you might need to practice that for wrong note, a little while. Get it as smooth as possible. And there's one more thing I want you to notice. It's my right hand. This side of my right hand is acting as a dampener, muting all the strings. And as I descend the link, you'll notice that my wrist is kind of pivoting this way. so that less and less strings are being muted as I'm playing these strings, going from the high string to the low E string. Take a look at the close-up here. I'm starting in this position, muting almost everything with that side of my hand. And as I'm descending, see, I'm kind of rolling it off. You'll notice it more at high speed. Something like that. And that muting aspect is really, really important. It's something to experiment with. There is no like hard set, this is exactly how you need to put your hands. At least I don't believe it is, because we all have different morphologies. Here it is, word of the day, ladies and gentlemen. We're built a little differently. So experience it, but I think if you're aware of it, that'll be more than half of the battle. So be aware of that muting technique. All right, let's take a look at idea number 3. This final idea is much harder than it sounds like, and it's because of the fact that the logical sequence is built using a series of 6 notes. However, we're playing this with 4 notes per beat, so there's like a mental switch that needs to happen. Let's take a look at the sequence first. We have 6 ascending notes, and we're going to skip a string in between. So we have something like this. On the low E string, frets 3, 5, 7, skip a string to 4, 5, 7. And then we're going to descend 6 strings from the note we landed on. That's the 4th string, 7th fret, without skipping a string this time. So we have frets 7, 5, 4 on the 4th string and 7, 5, 4 on the 5th string. And then we're going to repeat that whole sequence from the note we landed on. And you can kind of hear those 6s, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But we're playing that in 4s. So if this is our tempo, divide that by 4, and play the sequence, it becomes a little tricky. Let's try that. Much harder than even though that one was way faster, it falls under the fingers much easier. Now these 3 ideas are the starting point of an infinite number of ideas, because you can combine them, you can create your own sequences, and there are a few hidden things in those 3 licks that I purposely worked on for you to discover as you work on these licks. Now, to help you with this, there's the backing track, the tabs that you can download for free. Again, the link is in the top line of the description of this video. If you have never signed up to download one of these free assets, you will need to sign up. Again, it's completely free, and that'll give you access to the downloads for this video and all the other videos on the channel, and it's completely free. It's a great way to learn, because you'll be able to rewatch this video. Right underneath, you'll be able to play or pause the backing track, see the tabs on one page. It's very, very simple. And if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, consider doing so. It really helps the channel grow, and with that growth, it just allows me to continue providing free lessons on the channel. And hit the bell notification so you don't miss anything. And if you want to stick around, well, do so, because I have a couple videos here for you to watch. Check them out, and thanks so much for your attention. I'll see you next time. Practice well.